Welcome back to Yalla Salesforce. We're gonna resume our journey with Yalla Salesforce Trail Max. Last session, we were focusing on the lightning experience productivity. We started to see how can we be multitasking, and we learn more about the global actions, the utility bar, and in order to just visualize it, so we have in here the global action, which will allow you, if you are working on an opportunity and or working on an account and you want to create a new opportunity, and in the same time you want to have to log a call, so it open for you those extra pop-ups that will allow you to multitask while you are in the same page. Same thing in the utility bar we covered last time, which will be visible in there. So if you created a task and you want to have globally see that within the to-do list, or you develop the flow and you want to have it in the utility bar down there, and you still need to be in the same account object, but you need to multitask, do this specific screen flow, all of that is possible. We learned it as well that this is the utility bar. You can configure it from the setup, and you can go for the app manager, and within the app manager you will have all the apps. So we were in the sales app, and if you want to see or customize those utility bar items, you can go for a specific app, and within the specific app you can go and modify that. So from the app manager you will find sales, and from the sales you will be editing from here, and from here you will find utility item, which you will have a lot of utilities that you can add. So we have in here a flow and to-do list, and then you go to the flow and specify which flow you need to launch, and this will enable you to do this multitasking we are talking about. And from the global action, we had it in here. So we have global actions. We learned it last time, and you can, from the setup global actions, you can go in here and define your new action. And then after you do that, you will need to go to the publisher layout and edit your global layout. If you are interested in more, go back to the previous session and you will find all the details for it. Any questions? Good?
Yes, sir. All good.
Perfect. All right. So this is mainly for the multitasking, utility bar, global actions, and then we discussed of the home page and how can we customize the home page. And from the app builder, you can go and customize your own home page, and then you can assign it for as a global to be used across apps, or for a specific app, and so on. And then the keyboard shortcuts. After that, we moved for the notes and files. And we discussed there are two types of notes and attachments. That the legacy way of doing it, so you will find at the very end in the related list in here, you will find the notes and attachment, and this is what Salesforce Classic used to have, with very limited UI for the notes and with very limited capabilities even for the attachment. And then how Salesforce evolved over time to allow this new lighting experience of content management. So we have now notes and files instead, so which will allow you to do, instead of this very basic notes that we used to have in the classic, to have this rich experience, which will allow you to format the note, put images related to multi-records and so on. And this is possible within the notes component. And we learned last time how can we add it to the page layout for us and add it as a related list. Same thing for the files, and which will allow me to have multi-version of the file. So if we went in there and we mentioned in here view file details, within the view file details you will have multi-versions, and you will be able to track who viewed and who downloaded and what are the details for it. And we learned it as well, what is the data model behind that. We learned it last time that this is an amazing plugin for Chrome. It's called Salesforce Inspector Reloaded, which will allow you to do queries, which will allow you to see the data behind any object. So I'm in here and I just said show all data, it showed me where this data is stored. So you'll be able to find that this data is stored within the content document object. However, in the classic version, we learned it last time that if the classic version used to store this data in an attachment object, but this is all legacy. Attach notes and attachments are the legacy objects for the classic, but the new way of doing the thing we discussed last time, content document and content document link and content version and so on. All of the details again covered last time if you are curious to learn more about all of these great stuff. Next, we talked after that about the tasks and events and emails, and we talked about that it's a very special, they are very special objects within Salesforce. Why? Because in Salesforce in general, when we were discussing back in the days about the data modeling, and we went even for setup, and we went for the object manager, and you want for the account, and you want to have a relationship for another object, you will find that it has a lookup or a master detail. Lookup and master detail will allow you to relate this specific record for another record within a certain object. So account owner will be always related to the user object for this specific account owner. But what's special about tasks, it has a very special type of relationship called polymorphic relationship. What I mean by that, let's go again back to the homepage in here within, let's open an account and go edge communication and see this specific task. You will find that in here, it's a very special, you will find this pick list, which will allow you to pick one of the objects. It's not a specific object relationship. It's called a polymorphic relationship, which allow you to relate a single task, can be related to a case, can be related to a campaign, can be related to an opportunity, and so on. Accordingly, when we open the data export, which is our friend, or the show all data to see how this data is modeled in the back end, you will find in here that you have a field called what ID, and the lookup is not lookup between brackets account. It's a lookup with multi objects, which making this object is very, very special. It has a polymorphic relationship. You can relate it to account, and in the same time, nope, you can say, nope, I want to relate it to a case instead. Same thing for events, same thing for the email messages. All of these are under one big umbrella within Salesforce called activities. Accordingly, if you want to, the object manager in here, and you mentioned that I need to go a task, and if I wanted to create a new custom field within a task, you will not be able to do that from here. There is no new like any other object. So if we are just comparing the experience between the task experience and the account experience, we'll find the new custom field in here. But for the task, we couldn't find it. So the next question, if I need to create a custom field, where should I go? So you will find a special object called activity. This activity is bundling again different types of activities within Salesforce. So if you want to create a new custom field, you need to go to the activity object and create from here. So far, so good. All right. So back to the sales. We discussed the tasks, where you can create different tasks and showing it in the activity timeline, so you can manage your day perfectly and see the upcoming and overdue and so on. We learned as well, there is another tab called the calendar. If you want to see all the events, and you can add events from different records, special ones, so you can add new calendar and then specify the object and say, show me all the opportunity close date. So if you want to have all those opportunity close dates in the calendar, so you can visualize that, you can put it in here, say I need a close date for this one, and then you can apply all the filters you want, and you can display which fields you want to see in here and say this is my ops. Accordingly, if you have an opportunity and it has its own close date and you want to visualize it within a calendar, you can have it in here as well. All right, we covered as well the email messages, which it's available in here within any account. You can send an email, and this is a real service. Once you put the email in here and hit send, this email gonna be sent out of Salesforce into the recipient, which can be any email address, or you can even straight from the contact view, you can say, I wanna email Rose, and then you will have in here 2 rows, and it will, based on the email, it will be sent to Rose from Salesforce. Same thing, we learned it last time as well, the email templates, and we learned together how can we configure email templates and how can we mass send email. So if I want to see all the contacts and I want to select all of these 20 contacts, and then I want to send a list of emails, so I want to batch all of these emails, so you can do in a one go send this email to all of these recipients, and then based on whatever we defined the template last time, and then I can say in here my email template, it's based on the recipient first name, so I have Andy, I have Ashley, I have Evie, and so on. If I want to see and review this email, I can see from here that I can see how will be the experience for every, based on the merge fields we put within the email templates. I believe this a quick summary for everything we covered last time. Today, we're gonna continue our journey with the next one, which is the collaboration. So far, so good. Any questions?
Nope, all good.
Perfect. Right. So now we are in Salesforce instance. We are as a team collaborating in order to serve our customers the best way possible. And we are in that account and we are collaborating. How can we collaborate within Salesforce? So we have this amazing tab or functionality, which is called Chatter. In here, you can put notes. I had a meeting, and if you know that there is, you want to mention one of your colleagues, another user, so you want to copy someone to, and this will allow to send a notification. It will be a bill notification for John when he like log into Salesforce, so they will be able to see that you mentioned them in the chatter. And if you want to say this is related to this specific account, so using @ you can mention people, using this one, the backslash, you can go for any records within Salesforce to say I had a meeting regarding this specific account, and this is copy someone. You can bold it, you can insert an image, you can put emojis, and so on. All of that will be posted in here within the account. Accordingly, if there is any collaboration happening, all is visible within the chatter feed. All right, what else? If I have the option to follow this specific account. If there is any activities happening within this account, any messages happening in there, and I want to follow it myself, so I will receive notification and see it within the chatter. I can as well go to the chatter tab. Within the chatter tab, you will be able to see any activity happening for this specific account. If anyone tagged you, you can also as well, while I was in here in that specific account, and I am within this chatter, I can go in there and say, I wanna bookmark this specific chatter post. So it can be like if I need to frequently visit this specific post for any reason, it has important links regarding this specific account, so I can bookmark it. And in order to see it, I will go for the chatter tab, and I will be able to see it here within the bookmark. Same thing for company highlight. If you are following, and then these are your tracks. So this is a high level chatter feed and how can we collaborate. The next question, if I need to follow not only a specific account, I want to see a stream for a lot of records related to this account and this opportunity and so on. There is a functionality called the streams. So from streams in here, you can say Burlington Textile. This is the name of the account, and I have certain opportunities in there I need to follow. So you can go in here. You can pick which account you want to do. So I will go for Burlington Textile, and I will add it. And in the same time, I want to go for the opportunities, and I will follow anything related to this specific opportunity, and I need to be notified for everything happening within those, because this is my main focus for this month. So I will save this as a stream. Now, anything is going to happen for those specific two records, it will be combined together within here. So I will go in here, go to the account, and I will say I need all accounts. And I need to go to this specific one, and I'll go for the chatter. I will say, hey, account. And then I will share this one. And in the same time, I will go for the related, if there are any related opportunities to this specific account. We talked about this Burlington Textile opportunity as well. I will go in there, and within here, I will go to the chatter tab. And within the chatter tab, I will say, hey, opportunity. So two different chatter messages happening in two different records, one for account and one for opportunity, but I need to like collapse all of these one in one stream. So I should be able to see it all in here within my stream. So I can see, yes. So I can see hey opportunity and hey account. So this is all my Burlington Textile stream. And I believe you can add to up to 10. We will confirm when we go to the module, but this is a high level what the stream is. So far so good. Any questions?
I really like that you can, instead of just adding notes for a particular like case or something that you might be working, you can add notes to like hey, I just jumped off a call with this particular company or this particular contact. So that's great.
Yep.
I think you're keeping everybody informed.
Sorry?
I think you're keeping everybody informed about like all the interactions. That's great.
Yep. And this is the whole idea and the goal for Salesforce. It's to have this customer 360 view, so we are all collaborating over it. We don't want to like over communicate with the customer if already one of our colleagues did reach out and discuss this opportunity, and we need to inform the entire team that this action is happening. So it's all centralized within one place. Perfect. Same idea. We need to create a group. So we have all common goal we need to achieve, and we need to discuss it in one channel. It's like a group chat. So I can say this is Burlington Textile Fans. And this is the description for the group. I will put it in here, and we will put all the information we need. And then we can say whether it's a public group or it's a private group. So I'll say it's public, and then whether it's a broadcast only that we will be putting in information ourselves, or gonna be a collaboration channel. So we're gonna create this specific group, and then we can upload an image. So pick any image for now, and then say next. Who we want to invite to this specific group, we will add John as a member or a manager, and then we will hit save. Now we have this specific group where we can start posting and putting all the information we need in here in order to collaborate together, showing what are the members, if there are important files, if we mentioned records, and so on, all within one group. All right. I believe we covered most of the content that we need to cover part of this unit. Let's scan together what is the content in here and fill any gaps that we might miss. Perfect. So chatter side by side again in this module, since the first unit we were covering together, it seems it was one of the early modules where people were still in classic. So we are comparing here the experience between classic version of Salesforce versus Lightning experience of Salesforce. And if you are new to the ecosystem, you will find in here that we used before back in the days to have the Salesforce Classic, and then everything moved to Lightning. So this is the classic experience, and no one is using. And I'm hoping that all the customers already moved on from the classic version of Salesforce into the Lightning experience, which we are discussing in here. So this is how the chatter used to be in the classic version of Salesforce, and then now the rich experience of Lightning, having all of the things, great things we discussed together. Then you can put, you can mention people, you can mention records, you can put images, and so on. We covered all of that as well. Within the group, if we came back in here, so I was in here and we went to the chatter and we created a group. So we went to the group and we are within this group. I said, hey group, you have the option as well to share a post. So we will be putting this specific message. Let's not sharing. Post, hey team. All right, and I'll hit share. All right, so I have this message in here. You have the option to share. So you can share it with group, you can share it with followers for this specific group, or you can even copy a link and they have it as a link to be shared outside. So this is option as well available. You can attach files, all of these great stuff. You can put a hyperlink. We covered the streams as well. So only in Lightning experience, you can combine multiple feed from many kind of objects into a single view called a stream. We discussed all of these great stuff, and you can have a notification with every post, or you are not interested in the notification because sometimes notifications are very overwhelming, especially if this is an active group. So if you have the option within the stream to say, all right, no, I will go myself into the stream to see what's going on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, but I don't want to have a notification for every post. That is going to be overkill. So I will go never in here and I'll do it myself. So you have the option as well to control the notifications within this stream and what's happening. We discussed as well within the account in here that you have the option to follow. So this is possible that you can say, I am following this in a stream or it's on my feed. So you can have it in here, and you can even define a new stream from straight from here from the account and say, I need this one accordingly. Rather than you search for this specific record, it automatically detected that we are in this specific account and you need to create a stream out of it. All right, sharing a copy. We just covered this part, and after that we discussed about the groups and how can we collaborate over it, and then the rich visual experience in general that allow you to change the banner and having the picture and so on for the group chat. So I believe we covered everything related to chatter and the stream and so on. Any questions?
Nope.
Lovely. Let's go for that challenge. So in here, for this challenge, you need an image. We recommend an image 800 by 800 pixels, create a chatter post, and add inline image. So all what we need to go in here, go to the chatter tab. Within the post, I will say, hey, team, and I need to put an image in here. So you can owned by me, shared with me, any image, or even upload your own. So I'll put this one and I will hit share. And this should guarantee for us those 500 points. So one of the goals for Yalla Salesforce, so that if you have your own Trailhead account, we can earn those badges together. So we are learning and earning, and hopefully we will be going toward the Ranger together at some point soon. So when we started Yalla Salesforce, we created a brand new account on Trailhead. So all of the badges we are doing together, hopefully we are accumulating while we are learning as well. Great. So we covered that chatter and the collaboration part. Now, in order to have the full picture and having a control over your accounts and so on, some analytics will be required. So Salesforce natively has a functionality for building reports and dashboard within Salesforce. This will be we will dig deep into it like in the next 2 sessions for the reports and dashboards and different types, but this unit, we will have a sneak peek of the reports and dashboards capabilities. All right. Reports. So another tab in here called the reports, and I need to create a new report. The very first step, when you create a new report, it will ask you what is the report type. So report type is like a template. Think about it as a template, which will allow you to pick which object in Salesforce that you want to start your journey from. So do you want to report on opportunities or cases or accounts or activities and end? All right, so there are a lot of standard report types, as you can see. However, you have the option as well, if all of these standard reporting are not enough for you and you need to have you have your own custom objects and you need to create your custom report type, you have this option as well. How can we do that? From the setup, the journey starts from the report types. So you will find in here report types. And when you do that, it will ask you what is your starting point. So your primary object is, I need to do, let's say, something around opportunities. And then you will say my report type. And then you will need to decide which category. So we were seeing on the left-hand side the different categories within the reports when we were in here and we said new report. So you'll find all of these categories. So I will say this is an opportunity related. So I'll put it in the opportunity category. And then it will ask you what are the other objects that you need to relate. So think about it exactly. They are visualizing like a Venn diagram. So you will say, I need the opportunities, and then I will need the ones with orders, and then you will need to you will keep adding. You have up to 4 levels in order to put data together and they say whether each A must have at least B. So that means opportunity and orders together, or no, I don't care. I need all the opportunities regardless if they have orders or not. So you start to define your template for which objects you will be mixing together in here in order to build your report. So far, so good?
Yep, so good.
Perfect. So back to the report builder, I'll go for the opportunities and I will say, I need a report on opportunities. Now, this is an important toggle button, which will allow you to update preview automatically. So that means if I added or removed any fields in here, the report automatically will reflect the new configuration you are putting together in here. As a starting point, you can't see any data. Why? Because there are filters. This filter is saying, so in here, those are the outline. You will find all the columns that we have. You will find the group, and we'll be discussing more about the group. But now, why there is no data? Because it's filters having the close date current FQ. You have 2 options. Either to say, if you need to see, maybe this is a valid filter, and just whenever you have the right data, it will be visible. Or you will say, no, I don't want to have this specific current FQ, and I need to have it all time. So you can click in here, all time is going to be visible. Or if you already know that you need all time, Salesforce made it easy for you in here. You can just hit all time, and it's going to change it for you all time. So it shows for you all the opportunities. These are the columns. You can remove, you can add all the columns. All right. In the beginning, while we were picking, so if I step back even in here, I will say discard everything we did. And we said, I need a new report. And within this new report, we picked the opportunities. And we said this is the template, and it includes certain objects and certain fields. Before I opt in for this specific report type, how can I tell that this is what I'm looking for? You will find these details on the right-hand side. It will tell you While you are in there, you will have access to all of these objects. So if you need anything beyond that, that means that this report type is not for you. You need to pick either another one, or you need to create your own. But if this is satisfying, and then you are curious which fields are available, you can just go for the other tab. You will find all the fields. So before you do anything, everything is from outside. You can tell what's in this specific report type. And then we change it the whole time. All right. So if I don't remember what are the fields and I need to have a scan for all the fields, so within here, you will be able to see all the fields available for you as well. So from here. Okay. So I need to add a chart because this tabular format is not enough for me, but add a chart is disabled for me. I can't click it. It's grayed out. The reason is you cannot have a chart without having a grouping. So in here, I can say I need to group all of this data using the stage. I want to see all the opportunities that are still in prospecting, in qualifications, in closing, and so on. So after adding the group, now add chart became available for me. I can add a chart based on that group. It can show you like this horizontal bar chart, or you can see it. No, I want it as donut chart. So you can see all of this information in here. So there's another type of report, which we will be covering more next time, but you can have as well, rather than just grouping by rows, you can group as well by columns. This is called the matrix report, but this is good for now. We have the flexibility we mentioned in here to show the values, show the percentage within the donut chart in here. So to add more information, decide whether the legend is on the right or on the bottom, and all of these great cool features. I believe this is good for the reporting. There's another options in here that you can sort, you can bucket. What bucket? You can add even formula within the report. So let's learn about bucketing, and we will get again into the details. Now, I don't want to see all of this granularity for the different stages, and I will say early stages bucket. This is the first bucket. So in here, and I will need to have, so early stages bucket, and I will need to say closing staging. So I defined two buckets, and I need to add from here, maybe until here. So all of these different stages, I move it to early stages bucket. However, those ones I will need to say those are closing stages. So I am defining bucket rather than having this level of granularity. If I need to bucket certain things and still do the reporting on them, I can define my my bucket. So I will name it in here Basim stages, and I will apply. Within the grouping now, I will have this option to say, no, I don't need any more to see this level of granularity, and I want to make it based on my bucketing. Accordingly, all the grouping and things change based on the bucket I just defined within this specific report. So far, so good?
Super good.
Lovely. Perfect. So I can save and run. Now, when we save the report or sharing in general, who can see this report? You have the visibility for the reports are controlled by the folder structure. So I have either a private folder or I can use a public folder that everyone has access to. So private folder, I will be the only one that I'll be able to see it, or unless I shared it, but the public report in here will be available for everybody. So I will save it in there. If I need to rename it, I can edit it, put it in here as well. I will say, oops, by stage. This will be the name of the report. All right, what else? I can subscribe to it, I can export it, and I can add it to the dashboard. So this is gonna take us from the reports tab in here into the dashboards. So add to dashboards. This is going to open for me. Do you want to add it to an existing dashboard, or do you want to define your brand new dashboard? So I will say dashboard. Perfect. And I will do the same thing that I want to have it in this specific folder. You can have it a new folder, or you can keep it for yourself. So I'll put it in for now in the private folder. Then I know I am already in there. So since I started the journey for the dashboard from a report, so it started from the report we were talking about. So I can add, put it in here. Can I use the same report in multiple widgets within the same dashboard? The answer is absolutely yes. So you can go in there saying, I need to go for this specific report, which is ops by stage, and I will need to add it one more time. But this time, I don't want to have the detailed chart. I just want to see a number for this specific one. So I am adding this metric in here. I need as well to see the same report, but I want to see the tabular format. I want to see the details. So I will have the chart and I'll have the details. So I can change in here. You can even add columns, remove columns, sorting. You have a lot of flexibility in here to manipulate this chart or this report and do whatever you want. Even you can add groupings and so on. So this is a very quick dashboard we were able to achieve. And I will say as well, you can add text in here, my dashboard. All of that is possible. All right, so I added this one. So let's clean it up a little bit in here. So I'll do this, put it side by side in here, get this one here. Let's have this one in here. So it's all drag and drop in order to maneuver things in here. All right, so once I did this, I can say I am very happy with this result, and then I will save as, or whatever. And then when I hit done, now I have this great dashboard is ready for me within a couple minutes. What else? I can do the edit. Now let's go for the settings. Who can, or which numbers are visible in here? So we discussed the security for who can see the dashboard or cannot based on the folder, but the data in there, you have this option, view dashboard as me, always gonna be visible for everybody as me, or as another person, and then we'll ask you which user do you wanna view it as, and then, or the dashboard viewer, that means it's gonna be a dynamic dashboard. But keep in mind that there are limitations for the number of dynamic dashboards within the Salesforce instance. So you need to be careful of which dashboards it will be dynamic and which dashboards that you will have it fixed based on a specific user that is running the dashboards. So all of these configurations are in here. So I saved the configuration for the dashboard. You cannot save the dynamic to a personal folder because you are wasting dynamic for no reason if you are putting it for yourself in your private folder, which is make perfect sense. Any questions, Patrick? All good?
You know, when you were talking about the reports, when you created your report, are you able to share those reports, like a share button?
The share?
Yeah, is there a share?
Yes. So I believe when we done in here, you can share it maybe from outside. Let's see.
Because I saw subscribe and I saw download, but I didn't see actual share.
Yes. So let's check. All right. So we are in here because those are, I shared this in a public report, edit, subscribe, export, delete. It sounds no. So let's see it whether at the folder level, can I share a specific folder? So in here, all folders, did I create any folders? Can I share the, yes. So it's at the folder level, not at the report level as far as I can see.
Got it. So if you need to just, send everybody a link or something to click on to say, hey, I want to subscribe and do extra elements, and gotcha.
Yep,
Thank you.
you are very welcome. And let's make sure as well from here. So in here, just to the subscribe for myself. Yes, and again, within the folder level, you're gonna share the entire folder.
Nice.
One more thing, that if you want to share it as an image, since we were talking about the collaboration, how can I enable that? How can we collaborate over a specific dashboard? So in here, I need to send a snapshot that I'm not satisfied with that number, and I don't have any collaboration on it. So in order to do that, you need to go to the setup and say, go for feed tracking. And within feed tracking, you have the option to say, I need to go to the dashboard and enable feed tracking.
Hmm.
And then you will hit save. And then the same thing, you can do it for the reports. Enable feed tracking, and you will hit save. Once you do that, you can go back in here and say, show me the dashboards. And within this specific dashboard, you have this new lovely button. Now, back to the chatter. So now we are combining the chatter experience with the reporting and dashboards. And when you go there, I don't like this thing, and then you can put a snapshot and share it from here. So we can collaborate over things. Also, if you don't like this specific one, you can open it in here. So I clicked this guy, and then in here, you have this lovely button in here. It will automatically take a snapshot and put it within your chatter post. And then you can mention, John, I'm not happy with this specific number. And then you can collaborate over this specific snapshot of your report. So far, so good?
Yep.
Lovely. Last piece in here, if you need to dig into the details for this specific report, you still have a hyperlink in here, which will take you back to the report that used in order to put this component or widget within the dashboard. I believe we had a good overview of reports and dashboards and how can we utilize the different report types and so on. All right, so back in here, build a report. So now that you know how to find your favorite reports in Lightning Experience, let's build a new one on the Analytics tab, create report. We learn about the start report from here, the different report types, what are the different objects and fields in here available for you. And then we discussed the report name on the top, the filters, the columns, the grouping, and all of these fun stuff we discussed, as well that you can add a chart on the top. And in order to have a chart, you need to have a group in order to make it happen. Read the report. You have the filters. All right, so we then cover this part. So I am in here within the report, but how about I'm already in the running mode? I need to change the filters. You still have the option in here. So you have all the filters in here that you can change if you want. How about I am already on that report and I will open it in the edit mode. So you have all of these filters, and I will say I need as well to filter using the stage. But for some reason, you defined that this is one opportunities. And in order to make it only one opportunities without giving people to the option to change the filter, you have this look the checkbox. So look the checkbox, that means user can change all of these filters which are unlocked. But if you have a specific requirement for a specific filter to be looked, you have this option. What will be the user experience? When you go in there and go for the filter, this will be disabled. You can change all of these things, but this is for you is looked. All right. So we discussed the charts, we discussed the filters, build a dashboard. We initiated a dashboard from a specific report, but how about I just need to start a dashboard not from a report like what we did last time. Again, it's the same experience. Go to the dashboard and say from here, new dashboard. Different abilities, and then we covered in here, how can we customize the dashboard, how can we put it together, how can we change the sizing, move it up and down, and so on. And then who can not who based on the folder, but what they will be able to see the view dashboard as me, another person, or a dynamic. Accordingly, we put it in here. Finally, keep your team looped in with feeds and subscriptions. As we mentioned, you can add a feed in here, or you can subscribe for it. Subscriptions. So I am in here within this dashboard, and I need to subscribe. So I need to have a weekly snapshot every Thursday, 8 a.m., and send it to me. So I can subscribe for a specific dashboard as well. All good?
Nice.
Perfect. Let's wrap up this module. We made one module again together, Patrick. Thank you very much. So we covered the lightning experience productivity. Any questions overall in this module?
No, it's been great.
Perfect. So we have 10 more minutes. We can get into the next module. So we have a quick one in here called company-wide org settings. Company-wide org settings, things are global at the company level. So usually we customize things per apps, per profiles, but there are things are generic at the company level that we need to determine in the beginning. Things like who is the primary owner for this org, what is the default locale, what is the default currency. Accordingly, all the numbers in this specific org, it will be in US dollars, or it will be in Canadian dollars, or I am in Eastern time zone, or I am in Mountain time zone, and so on. So all of these great information are stored on the company information. So from the setup, company information in here will show you all of these great information, showing what is the organization name, who is the primary contact. One of the most important things that you will need down the road, which is the org ID. So for every org within Salesforce, there is an org ID. This is a critical piece of information when you have a support case with Salesforce. The very first question, which org? So this is the org ID. You can get it from company information. And then what we were talking about, that I have the default time zone for me, what is the currency locale for me, and as well, you will be able to see in here what is the storage, use the data space, and what is the file space. So this is important in order to know, do I still have some room to add more data or not? How the storage is determined in general within Salesforce, it's based on the amount, the license type, and the amount of users. How many users do you have in your org? The more users you have, the more storage you will get. If you want to have a full big report around your storage, there is within the setup as well, you can navigate to the storage usage, and this will give you the breakdown for this 8% that we saw in the company information. You will find that here you have 31. Accordingly, you have 62 kilobytes. Salesforce is amazing in this part that the storage is per record, not per column. So if you have within the same object 50 columns, it doesn't matter. At the very end, it's 2K, 2 kilobyte per record for the most of the objects. There are some exceptions, but the general rule, it's 2K. So if I have 31 record in here, it's 62 flat. Same thing, 26, 52. So it's 2 kilobyte per record. Back to the company information in here. So within the company information, you will find here the 8%, and we saw the breakdown. One more thing within this company information screen, which is important, is the user licenses. you will be able to see in here how many licenses do you have. And since we are in a playground, so we have only 2 active licenses, and we already used all of them. So the remaining, plus there are other add-ons you can purchase part of Salesforce instance, and with those feature licenses, you will find them in here. And some of those add-ons will require a permission set license. You will find it in here. So all of these are different types of licenses, but the core one, which is if we are vanilla Salesforce and we are just doing like sales cloud functionalities or core CRM, all of what you need is the Salesforce license. Accordingly, when we go for the user, as we discussed in the user management module, like a couple months ago, you will find that for every user, we need to specify what is the user license associated to that user. All of this great information is centralized within the company information. So far, so good. Any questions?
Nope.
Perfect. Right. So company information, name and address, used for billing and support, primary contact, default locale, default currency, currencies, storage, license available, fiscal year, business hours, and holidays. So we covered most of them. Let's go for the business hours. Business hours in here. There are certain functionalities within Salesforce, even allowing you to get into the org or to not allow you into the org and so on. You need to define business hours. You might say, no, I'm available 24/7. Everyone can go in here. Plus, there are other functionalities like milestones. What milestones means? Part of the service cloud side of the house, that you have a support case, and then you need to define SLAs. And we discussed this in the service cloud, that there are SLAs and there are entitlements. You are a gold member, part of our company, and you are a loyal customer. So you have this gold status. And if you open the case with my organization through Service Cloud, and you are entitled for all gold benefits, I want to service your case within 2 hours because you are special. Accordingly, we need to consider the business hours and the holidays, because we need to make sure that this clock, which will be ticking in order to fulfill your case, does it require business hours to be part of the picture, or we don't need to consider the business hours part of the pictures? Where can we define those business hours? It's in here. From company setting, business hours, you have this great UI, which will allow you to put which time zone you are talking about and what are the days and hours that you will need to do. Same thing for holidays. In here, you will be defining the different holidays and so on. All right, then we have the locale. We talked about the locale. The locale will determine what will be the formatting for all the numbers, for the phone numbers, for the dates, and so on. You can update your company information by going in here, company information, as we were talking, and then go for the edit and do all the edits that you need. And then you save, everything gonna be transformed. So if you change your locale to English United Kingdom and your default time zone is GMT, all the numbers, all the dates gonna be changed. All the time will be in that specific time zone. Next one is the fiscal year. You can as well change your fiscal year. Every company, there is standard fiscal year, but if you have your special fiscal year and you need to change the chart and so on, you have all the option in here to say whether which month, start or end, or even go for the custom fiscal year and enable your custom fiscal year for your reporting. Last but not least, you can go as well for the language. And here you will find the language support as well within Salesforce. There are people that need to translate or change the whole experience to be in a different language. So those are the supported language for Salesforce. Right, so let's go for this hands-on challenge and wrap it for the day. So we just need to change the company information for my org. I'll go in here, go back to the company information, and within the company information, I will hit edit. This will be the street, and this is the city, and province, state, and the postal code. Here we go. And then I will go for the default time zone. I want to make it mountain, GMT 7 mountain, and set the fiscal year and set your personal time zone. All right. So all of that, all what we discussed so far was company wide. So the next one, so we finished all of these standard time zone. I will go in here, say they need me to change something on the fiscal year. So the fiscal year need to be moved to February, and I'll hit save. Okay. And last thing is my personal. So we might be a multi-region company, and we are across different states, and my time zone is Venezuela. So you can find, so this is the company wide, but you can still override things on your profile level. So within the settings in here, you will go in here. So you will find that I have in here my stuff, my personal information, and you can have change my language, time zone. You can do things at your level. So I need to make myself the GMT -4 Venezuela. So I tests. Is it -4? Yes. Help me in here. Venezuela, Venezuela, Venezuela. Here we go. We found it. And I will hit save. And now let's check. The company information is a global company wide, but I still have the option for my specific user to specify my time zone accordingly. Everything will be visible for me. All right, so we cannot find your default time zone, that GMT. So I will go back in here. So I saved this one. I will go in here, back to the setup, and I'll go for the company information. I hope I did save. Edit. It's a mountain standard time. Oh, Phoenix. You just picked anyone. Here we go. Trailhead is very detailed. So.
I guess so.
So hopefully we made it that time, and we're gonna earn those 500 points. Any questions? So far, so good?
No, it's great.
Perfect. We made it, and we're gonna continue our journey next session. Thank you very much for joining.